Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Nat Walsh. Today we are going to be involved in a little bit of a blog hop again, a video hop, I should say. I've done a few of these recently. Sometimes I'm in them and then other people get to play and then I come back, but I've seemed to have a few lately. So we're going to use these papers. They are the Dragons in Autumn paper range. And I've got lots of little bits and pieces there because you'll see that die only cuts out the center bit. I have a lot of it because someone didn't really look at the die and was thinking, although this works so much better, wasn't actually thinking about that it didn't cut out the outer bit. So we're using the second one and the smallest for our little dude. So we've got two different ones of the paper. It's a bit bright there. I should do these more during the daytime, but it's a bit bright there. So that's the idea of the card. So we're going to have it mounted on this brown cardstock. Now I should be doing the sponging before I did this, but clearly that ain't going to happen. I was also going to talk to you, so there's going to be a bit of flailing of arms because I was going to talk to you while I did this, but then I realized it's a bit too long and it needs to be sped up a little bit. So I'm going to put a little flag on the bottom of this, what we call a flag. We are going to trim off the very bottom, and I've made a little dot in the center of the panel. Just eyeballed it, it's just really rough. Shorten a little bit down. Now what I'm going to do is go up through the center, nip it in, and then just using the corners nip it into either side of where that dot is, and make sure you don't lose, you get it all so you don't end up with a little cubey bit like I just did that I have to try and figure out how to get him out. So yeah, I'm going to use a bit of walnut stain to mask around the edges. The brown cardstock that it is there is going to be make it a little bit more softer brown, shall we say? But that doesn't matter. I don't care. It's all going to work out well. But ideally, yeah, put the walnut stain on before you stick it all down because that would be handy. So today, if you put into the search engine of YouTube hashtag Team Tiny TLC Designs Shop Hop, then you will have all these designers. There's about 15, if I remember correctly. Yeah, something like 13 or 15 people. I can't remember. But if you search under that, it will all pop up all the different designers that are involved, and you can see what they're playing with. Now you will notice on my watermarks that I'm actually got TLC watermark. Does that make sense? TLC's watermark. That's because I am part of new to their design team. They've just started doing a video team, and that is me. It's like, yay. So that's why I have that. I've decided to use this is Dragon Baby Greetings. I think it is very popular because it's so cute. But I've been busting to see flailing of arms. I've been busting to use him. So this was a little bit too stark. I am going to sponge a little bit on it, but firstly we're going to do some coloring. So we got BG 99, 93 and 96 and 93. Then this YR 27, 24 and 23. I will start with the 23, but I'm going to substitute. He wasn't light enough. There wasn't enough of a variation in the colors, so we're going to substitute him for the YR 20. And obviously I had to tell you something there, but what I'm doing here is just little dots. We're going to do some stippling of his of his skin. Now there's other ways to do this. And I find that this way leaves a finer texture. So all around where his dark little bits and pieces are, these dark areas, so underneath his shell, the rounded outer parts of his face, because his face is not in theory flat, we're going to put the darkest one. Now we're going in with the medium and just filling in some of those holes. And obviously still leaving plenty of holes because we're just doing dots everywhere. And what I'm doing is I will now go back through and just, this is the medium one of the 96, and just do a little bit of definition for his nose, his little cute little snoz, and just a little bit here and there just to fill in some of that color. This is the lightest color, the BG93. And then I'm going to go back through with the other colors. You can see the color and the texture on that. I mean, we're looking at pretty close. He looks like he's got the measles, but in theory, if you look at the card, he just looks like he's got lots of little texture all over his little face. I'm going to put the odd little dots. This is the medium one color going through now. I'm just going to put little dots here and there. And the 93 is going to come through and blend those out. So they're not going to be quite as in your face. This I mean here. I did accidentally colour part of where his shell would be, but I've removed that with a little bit of O, and we're just going to go through with just a cool grey. Same colours for my leaves, but I'm only going to use the medium and the lightest colour. Now, I thought I had it on record, but we're going to colour some other ones. So his little horn on his head, same colours. We're shading on the outer parts to try and get it a little bit more rounded. It's a little bit hard to see, but it's also really small, so yeah. I do have some extra flowers cut out. Currently, at this point in time, I only had 2, and I will cut out a 3rd because he just needed that little bit something. So there's not much difference between this color and the YR23, and that would be because it's YR24 and 23, so they're pretty darn close. But I was hoping for a little bit more. My hex chart sort of popped up a little bit more color than that. So the shell and the centers are the YR20, and we're just going to use the 0 just to soften that out. And I'm also going to use a white gel pen a little bit later on just to give it a little bit, well, not a little bit later on, now give it a little bit of highlights. But the 2 flowers you can see off to the side, they are not in focus, but they're with the YR20. Forgot his little ears. I have forgotten about his little nose, but we will come back to him and we will fix him. Honestly, once all the colouring is all done, the card is all put together, and then I go, oopsies. But we will fix that up later on. So I've got C4, C2 and CO. I want this to have the thing that it is white, but at this moment in time, it's looking a bit grey. That's okay. The thing to think about when you want to colour things to actually be white, that you're only putting the shading in, is to leave white. So in the center there, and that's where the O comes, it just softens that O just out. The CO, the O softens the CO out that little bit more. Okay. I've got a little bit of foam tape. I'm just bending it around, just giving it so it's not quite sort of a flat thing. These foam dots, even though they're the smallest ones I've got, they're almost too big. But we're going to make do. And see, he just needed another one. This is where we've got our antique linen. I should have brought my mat out again, but you know, yeah. Antique linen, just blending it around, just giving it a little bit of colour. And then what I'm going to do is with the walnut stain, and I'm really, really close here. Sorry. There we go. I'm just sort of dabbing on the edge. So I sponged it on like you would normally for the antique linen, but the walnut stain is just a dab, just to give that very, very edge, that little bit of that colour. We're using some foam tape that I bought at Bunnings here in Australia. Mount that all up. I will also mount up my little dragon baby. So yeah, down below in the description box, I will have a link over to my blog, which will have more close-up photos. I will also have a link over to this little dude. And then you can have a look through their freebies. These are, or their digital stamps, sorry. Every now and then she does come up with a freebie. There was recently for you American peeps, a 4th of July. He's pretty cute. I know, I say cute a lot, but this is my thing. I like my cute stamps. Okay. See, I told you I coloured his nose. And every now and then she'll have freebies, but digital stamps are really, really easy. You can mount up all these flowers and just enjoy and have a lot of fun and cut out. And I use the Silhouette program on this. So that's it. All the information will be down below. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.